to another episode of king.mcclure podcast. King.mcclure here.
Rich Shipley, aka the Rhythm Guru.
As you can see, tough topics today. What's going on in our world is crazy. It makes me sad. It's unacceptable. And I'm sure you can agree.
Oh man, it's a tough time right now. I'm glad we get to talk about it a little bit, get some perspective, learn a little bit, man. I'm supporting the hoodie. I appreciate my man King letting me rock this, dude. Come on, man. I love it. Thank you. I need one for myself.
For sure, man. Have you driven downtown any?
I've been around it, I haven't been around where the protesters and everything's been going on. Been staying clear of it, keeping up with the news, but and there's a lot of stuff, man. I don't know what the media has out there, what's true or not, but I can hear it. We got curfew now, so we're in pretty early. We're in at 7 o'clock out here.
That's crazy. I mean, bro, I've been driving around and seeing a little bit, and man, I just think it's crazy. Like I get it, but like it's kind of just like, wow, who would have ever thought? Like 2020 had to be the craziest year ever. First off, you start off with COVID.
Yeah.
Then you start off with Corona. Then now racism, the Great Divide. Like,
and we're what?
Has to be the craziest.
We're not even halfway through 2020.
Not even halfway through 2020, and this has to be the craziest year ever.
I hate saying it right now, but this has definitely been one of the craziest years. But for some reason, I still feel in my heart that this has been one of my best years personally.
Yeah.
Even though there's been a lot of stuff going on, I personally have still developed. I've still been growing. Business is growing. All those things are happening. So I guess I'm kind of struggling with, do I keep focusing on growing myself, my business, or should I put that on pause a little bit, maybe pay attention to what's happening a little bit more? But I'm not sure. It's tough. I'm an entrepreneur, man. I got to work.
No, for sure. I mean, I feel like everybody in America is going through the same thing you're going through. Because I feel like with what you just said, you're an entrepreneur, should you put things on pause? I mean, I've seen a lot of people on Instagram just, like one guy, I forgot his name, Max is Nice. He said he's not making any more videos until change is resolved, change is happening. And I feel like that's huge because I think that white people play a bigger role in this than almost anybody. I feel like, especially the white people who are like yourself, like that aren't racist, that love black people, that love us. I feel like y'all play a huge role in this.
Yeah, man, I think so. I think obviously both of us play a huge role. It takes a lot, coming from a black person to really deal with whites right now in America. I mean, it's tough because you want to push the message. You want to get these answers. But, at the same time, it feels like you're kind of having to drag us white people along. Even maybe the non-racist ones, the people that don't partake in that bad side. But we're just not educated enough. It's like, I really feel, even though it is on us, you guys still have a lot of work. You guys are still having to bring us over here. And, man, I couldn't have more respect, for a community of people that have gone through so much that still are willing to listen. I appreciate those people.
No, for sure. Like, what you just said is, we have to educate. And I feel like a lot of white people are ignorant to the fact of what we really go through as African Americans. And it's not that it's bad that they're ignorant, they just don't know because they will never be us.
Right.
So like for you'll never know how it feels, when you get pulled over by a cop, to have that fear in your heart.
Right.
Because literally, like, just for instance, last time I got pulled over, the cop pulled me over. First off, I knew I wasn't speeding. It was pitch black. It was around where I live. You know where I live. I live kind of in the middle of nowhere.
And the sticks.
And the sticks, and there was no lights around. So I got pulled over. I knew I wasn't speeding. The cop was facing this way. I was going the opposite direction. He turned around and followed me, and I knew from that moment on, like, he was about to get me. He pulled me over because my license plate light was out. And first and foremost, I didn't even know that there was a license plate light. So when he said that reasoning right there, you should have saw how scared I was. I was trembling. I was shaking. I was in fear for my life because you've seen it so many times. It's in the middle of nowhere, pitch black. Bro, he could have done anything to me. Like, he could have moved his body cam or anything. And I feel like that fear right there, like, he had to tell me to calm down. He saw me shaking. I'm literally having to explain to him, sir, my license and registration is in the glove compartment. May I get it right now? He says yes. I said, sir, I'm going to reach and get it right now. I'm going right now to get it. He said, okay. I'm going now. I'm literally having to like basically analyze what I'm doing and tell him what I'm doing as I'm doing it. And just that thing right there is something that white people don't really think of. Like, cause y'all will never ever have that same fear in your heart, but that right there is something that I feel like we need to educate white people on, because a lot of people do not think it's real.
No, I mean, when I get, if I was to get pulled over, my first instinct is like, what is this cop doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm over here like, what is this dude's problem? No, I've got my own life. You're going to stop not one time. I just have attitude. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a fear. I don't think that something bad's going to happen. The only thing that I'm really just like, dude, if this guy gives me a ticket, man, like if this guy makes me pay this stupid ticket, I am so done with this cop. Like like that's the type of feeling I have, man, not once have I felt in fear, not one time. And that's crazy. I mean, those are two opposite worlds. It could be the same cop though that got me and you.
The same cop.
You know what I'm saying?
The same cop, but that's really mind blowing. The fact that you're worried about a ticket, I'm worried about my life. And that's the things that we just need to educate. Because I've heard a lot of people say, why riot? Why do this now? Why riot? I mean, I feel like I don't agree with the looting. I think looting is just too much. Like, you stealing. I feel like when you start looting, you're not doing it for the cause.
Right.
So MLK once said, rioting is the language of the unheard. And I think that when he said that, he meant that for so long we've been trying to do it the right way. Cap took a knee, MLK marched, and we tried to do it peacefully. I mean, I don't think Malcolm X was really on the whole peaceful. He was more any means necessary. But MLK, Cap took a knee, and they tried to make it seem like he was disrespecting the flag. Instead of really saying, why is he really taking a knee? And with that, we still were not hurt.
Yeah. Well, I think to your point, like the looters, people that are doing that stuff, I mean, I'm not here to tell you can't do it if that's how you feel, But what I will say is, because of that looting, because of the fires and the damage and stuff that's been going on, you do take it a little bit more serious. And Kaepernick and these people that have done their peaceful protests, it only goes so far because us white people or whoever are controlling the narrative. So when Kaepernick does something like that is so significant, we as white people take that significance away. So now people are like, well, if he can't do it, now he's excommunicated from the NFL. What makes some average kid in the community thinking he can do something peaceful and think he can have change? And so that's where, I've gone back and forth with it. I definitely don't like people being hurt. I don't like businesses, especially, that come from the black community. That one was tough for me. I'm like, man, you're really fighting. I understand you're emotional. This is a tough time, but you're taking away from the people that you're trying to fight for. That was the only part that was a little tough for me to understand.
Yeah, I mean, even with Cap taking a knee, like, you saw what Drew Brees said the other day.
I'm glad he said it in a way that he could be put on blast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm glad he said it. We needed that person. We needed someone like Drew Brees that everyone really likes in their house to say something that ignorant for you to be like, oh my God. Okay, we know Drew Brees is a great guy. I mean, we think so, right? So we needed that person to say that to realize, wait a second, okay, maybe not everyone's as racist as they think. They just don't know.
Yeah.
They just don't know.
Because I fully think that there's no way in my mind I think Drew Brees is racist. He has way too many black teammates. Black men make him his money. Black men catch his balls. Black men, he hands it off to black men. Black men protect him. Yeah. There's no way you can be fully racist. Yeah. I don't think that Drew Brees is racist. I don't think he intended that racist. But I do think that he is so ignorant that he just did not get what he said. Also, I think it's wrong, bad timing. He definitely shouldn't have made that statement in this time. But I think he was so ignorant to the fact that he just doesn't get why we do it. He doesn't get why we take a knee. We take a knee for the social injustices. that we have faced in this country.
Yeah.
And white people, certain white people, I'm not saying all white people, certain white people just do not get it. Because they think that we're disrespecting the flag. It has nothing to do with the flag. We love our veterans. We love the people that gave us freedom, that fight for us on a daily. We love them. This is strictly because we are not being treated fairly.
Yeah. Well, speaking of just the disrespect to the flag, and it seems like that's a common theme for white people. I don't know if, there might be other races that are saying the same thing, but as far as my perspective goes, it does seem like that's something we fall back onto. Like, we fought for this, and this. Again, we're controlling the narrative here.
Yeah.
But I saw Whoopi Goldberg post something about how her dad and her grandfather fought in the world wars, and they sacrificed, for our country and for that flag. So she doesn't think it's disrespect. I don't think her grandfather or her dad would think it's disrespect. She said that they fought for the country and then didn't have the right to vote. I'm over here like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, man. Like, we got to take a step back here.
Yes.
Like, come on. So we can't use that as a crutch to not make it stand, because it's going to make a few people uncomfortable.
Like, when you say controlling the narrative, even with the whole all lives matter thing, I get it. I get it. All lives do matter. But the reason why we say Black Lives Matter, the reason why that's on the shirt, is because we are the ones that are being oppressed right now. We're the ones that are being killed at the hands of people who should not be killing. They should be protecting us. So, also in the sense that I saw a great analogy on TikTok, actually, out of all places on TikTok. It was two houses. One house was burning down, and the other house was just regular. So the people with the house that was burning down said, "I'm going to go call 911. I'm going to get a fire extinguisher. I'm about to, get the fire off."
Yeah.
And the people who lived in the house who was regular said, "What about my house?" And the person whose house was on fire was like, "Well, your house is normal. My house is on fire. Why would I worry about your house when my house is the one that's clearly about to burn down?"
Yeah.
And that right there was so powerful because it's the truth. Like, I promise, I get all lives do matter. No matter what color you are. But you saw it on tape. There's no arguing with film.
Yeah.
George Floyd was killed. I didn't even watch it. I just hear about it. I couldn't watch it. I couldn't get through that. But he was killed at the hands of 4 police officers. And this is not happening. It's not the first time it's happened. If this is the first time it's happened, then we have another argument. It's happened time after time after time. If we shut up and don't say nothing, this is going to happen three months down the road. It's going to happen again and again and again. Which is why we're fighting so hard for Black Lives Matter. And which is why we're trying to take initiative and control the narrative. And not let white people control the narrative this time.
Yeah. It's so, I can just speak on, obviously, not being black. So for me growing up and dealing with this, it's different for me. It makes me feel uncomfortable in a sense that when you say that, I'm thinking, well, doesn't my life not mean anything? Like, does that mean I start reevaluating everything? I'm like, well, okay, I didn't have it as hard as these people did. So does that mean, like, I shouldn't be happy where I'm at? Like, I've been privileged and I'm not as successful as I want to. But I'm like, well, dang, what if I wasn't as privileged? Where would I be now? And so, to me, that makes me a little uncomfortable. Like, have I just had it an easy way my entire life, and that's why I've had success?
Yeah.
Dude, that's tough for me, but those thoughts aren't even for me. That's just keeping me from focusing on what's really important, which is that Black Lives Matter right now. Not, oh, this happened in my life or that happens in their life, or whatever it may be. And the point that you brought up of the fire, it's spot on. Like, we've got to drop everything right now and focus on this. You don't just, I'm here, you can use my hose and tomorrow, I'm not done watering my plants yet. It's just like, I'm not done making millions and millions of dollars yet. Hold on. And I'll give you some maybe tomorrow, but we'll see. So, that's tough, but it makes me uncomfortable for sure to feel that people don't see that maybe I've gone through something, but that's selfish of me. That is completely selfish of me. And I feel like over the last year or two, I've been able to transition from thinking, well, they shouldn't have done this, or they shouldn't have done that, or why would you put yourself in this situation? Because I didn't realize that they're put in those situations based off what's happening systematically. I'm not put in those same positions because of my privilege.
Yeah.
So I would have never had the chance to maybe respond or act a certain way to put me in a position of trouble, you know? So it's taken a while for me, man. And like, I feel like I'm the least racist person, but it still takes me a while to not feel uncomfortable, to not feel like you're coming at me. I don't know how many times I've felt that, like, I've had, you know, another friend of mine come at me, or someone who feels so strongly about, you know, Black Lives Matter, that I feel like they're coming and putting me down because I don't understand it. And that part is tough, but we need to be able to work through that. I mean, I think that that's soft for us white people, and I'm going to call myself out. That's soft for us to take an offense when someone is standing up for, you know, what they believe in. That's soft of me. I'm done with it, you know, now. But it's soft, you know.
For sure.
You've got something to speak about, man. I got to put my feelings aside.
For sure. And I feel like not all white people think like you. I think if more white people thought the way you thought, I don't know if we'd really be in the situation we're in right now as a country. I mean, because, you know, what's so mind-boggling is that people do not think that white privilege is real. Some white people do not think that white privilege is a thing.
Dude.
And that's mind-boggling.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't even really acknowledge that I've had privilege until like a few years ago, and that's mind-blowing. But it's also because I'm around people that are way more privileged than I am, and I am white, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, to me, I didn't feel as privileged because I didn't have a private jet. But how stupid is that? Like, that is the privilege that I'm surrounded by. So I'm like, well, I'm not privileged. I don't have my own boat. I don't have a private jet. So I'm not privileged. But dude, I'm missing the whole story.
You're missing the whole thing because like, y'all over there talking about private jets and boats and stuff. We can't even get on a plane.
Yeah.
We can't afford a plane ticket.
I'm taking heat for that one, guys.
We can't even get on. Bro, I had classmates who literally have never flown.
Yeah. And
when they tell me that, I'm like, bro, wait, what? Even in my privilege? Like, come on now. Like, they've never ever flown. I'm like, bro, is that really?
Yeah.
Like I really couldn't. Like, it's crazy the difference of the two worlds. But even though there's a difference of the two worlds, does not mean that we can't come together.
No.
Because, like, yeah, y'all over there living in your mansions in Beverly Hills and all that. But just because, you know, I didn't come from the same background as you, like, we're still doing this podcast. Yeah. Because you don't think like everybody, well, I'm not going to say it, I'm not going to generalize that. But you don't think like a lot of white people think.
Yeah.
And it bothers me because I think right now what we're trying to do in America, when we protest and all that, we want to be heard. So I understand that part, but I think also what we're trying to do is open the eyes of white people who are racist.
Yeah.
And I think that...
And we gotta say racist as in, I feel like the only way we're talking about racist is like as in it's just a white against a black thing. I think the whites that are racist towards blacks are racist towards all.
Yeah.
And like we want to talk about just the white. I mean, we might need some other ethnicities to stand up and say white people are treating us wrong.
Yeah.
Because really it seems like we're only hearing it from black people. And in my experience, white people are racist to all races. It really feels like that.
That's true.
Not to put, I'm not trying to generalize either. So we need to put an asterisk here. We're not generalizing.
Yeah.
You know, we know that every side has its good and bad apples. Just like the police aren't made up of just white cops, right? We've got a lot of ethnicities in a police department. We've got a lot of ethnicities in this world. We are never speaking on the whole ethnicity. We do not have all the answers. I feel like we got to say this. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we're just speaking through our experiences. So I know not all white people are racist towards all ethnicities, but I can say through my experience that it seems like it's not just focused on blacks, that it's really a big thing that we fail to realize.
But to add to your point, you're absolutely correct. Not all cops are bad. All cops are not bad. All white people are not racist. But we also got to look on the flip side. Not every black man is a threat. Just because I decide to wear a do-rag, or just because my hood is up, does not mean I'm a threat. Does not mean I'm trying to kill you or anything.
Could you understand why, not saying that you have to agree with it, but could you understand why a white person that has seen so much media, that has seen so many movies, that that don't give the best image of a young black man? I mean, let's be honest, like, they don't have the best image. And so are you more mad at that white person, or are you just mad about the culture?
And I think that's what is even worse, is because they see it in the movies, they see it portrayed in the media. That is why they think that way. Yeah. And I think it stems back from that. Yes, 100% that's wrong. Because I wear my do-rag. And you know why I wear my do-rag? Because I get waves from my do-rag. It's not to be hood. It's not to look like I'm intimidating. It has nothing to do with that. Yeah. And white people, they don't get like certain things, that not every black man is a threat. And you should not look at us like we're threats. Like, there's so many, but you would be blown away the amount of times that a white man or a white person talks to me, right? And they automatically expect me to be, some hoodlum that talks like I'm from like just I have no education. Basically, they expect me to talk like I have no education. I've never been to school, and then you'd be surprised when I start speaking, and then I tell them I graduated from Baylor. They're like, "Oh, well, interesting." Like, bro, like, what you like? Why would you automatically like generalize? Like, bro, another incident with a cop, bro. I swear, I promise. I got pulled over, bro. On my way, I was leaving my daughter's house. I got pulled over. Yes, I was speeding, so he had the right to pull me over, right? But this man on the craziest stuff ever asked me to get out my car and go sit in his car. Hey, you know what I did? I went to go sit in his car. So I sat in the man's car, because I'm not finna say no. Yeah. No, I'm gonna comply. Whatever he asked me to do, I'm gonna do, because right now I feel like my life is in his hands right now. So I'm sitting in this man's car, right? He's asking me, you got any drugs in your car? And I said, sir, no. He said, well, you don't have any marijuana in the car? And I said, no, I don't have it. He said, all right, so no cocaine?
Oh my God.
I said, sir, no. And then he goes, so there's no reason for me to call the K9 unit, is there? I said, sir, no. So at this point, I'm kind of like starting getting heated, because he's literally like, trying to basically criminalize me. Yeah. And I'm like, sir, do you do this to everybody? Yeah. And he's like, no, I just do it when I feel like I have the reason to. And I'm like, okay, wait. So, okay, cool. So then I'm just quiet, because at this point, I feel myself about to say something I shouldn't say, and then we might get into an issue, and I value my life. I have a daughter, okay? So this man says, so where are you coming from? I said, sir, I'm leaving my daughter's house. I'm going back to school. He said, where do you go? I said, I go to Baylor University. I just graduated, but I'm going back, because we have practice tomorrow. I play on the team. He said, oh, okay. So wait, I think I remember you. I think I remember watching you play. Like, I'm a big fan. Like, I'm a big fan of Baylor basketball and all of that. And I'm like, wait, pause. 10 minutes ago, I was a criminal. Yeah. Now I tell you that I'm actually doing something with my life, and all of a sudden, you want to look at me at a whole different light. Yeah. And I think that right there is just the problem. You automatically think that every black man is a threat. But I feel like with those people who think that, you can't change their hearts. I think racism is a heart thing. It comes from within. And because it comes from within, it gets passed down. So I don't think we can change the hearts of racist people. I think we need to talk to the younger generation. Yeah. I think the younger generation in this is key, because where do you learn racism? You learn racism from your parents. Yeah. It's a learned behavior, okay?
Inherent, yeah.
So because it's inherited, where is somewhere where people always where you learn right from wrong, where you learn anything? You learn in school.
The house.
You learn in school, yeah. Because in the house they're teaching you racism.
Yeah.
So if you learn in school, so I think that one thing that we need to come together as a community, as the African American community and white people, we need to try to make a law that makes it mandatory for every school district, every school, every elementary school, middle school, high school, to teach equality and diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, it's sad to say that we have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's really sad to say that we should that it's come to this, but I think it should be mandatory for every school to teach that as a subject.
Yeah.
Like you learn math, you learn reading,
Yeah.
you learn writing,
Mm-hmm.
you learn history, science. I don't even remember nothing about animals in third grade.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to get every school to teach equality and diversity,
Yeah.
so that no matter what this little white kid or this little kid, anybody, because anybody can be racist, any kid is learning at home, they can at least hear right from wrong
Yeah.
in school.
Yeah.
I think that just needs to be mandatory, and we have to get a law that does that.
Yeah. I agree. Man, there's just so many different things that, different approaches. Law, I feel like laws, yes, are gonna help, and that laws should be something we should focus on. I don't know exactly which laws to vote for or what's gonna help your community the best. So that's where I still need to be educated. I do agree that it comes from the homes, and maybe a few generations are going to be bad apples because of the home that they grew up in. But believe it or not, everyone lives and dies. So for me personally, it's starting to have those conversations with my immediate family and my future family, what I can plan for the future. I know that my answer or some people's answer might not be a right now, but I promise you that I'm working on the conversation within my family, my friends. We all have these conversations. And something that you touched on a little bit as far as, how you're being perceived by people and, being yourself and then kind of maybe having to change to talk to white people. I know, especially at Baylor. And, dude, I know it too. And this is where I feel like I'm not saying we can relate because we have the same experiences. Your life's been different than mine. But I do find a lot of ways that I can relate to people. And I think one way is, dude, you think I like talking like this and shaking people's hand and being proper all the time? Like, that's not me. Like, that's just like it might not be you to do that. But, dude, I put on the white show because I know it benefits me. Does that mean that's not, me, bro? Like, I can turn it on and off. And I feel like you can too. And I feel like a lot of people can. But that's something that I have to do, bro. But I use it to my advantage. So I don't know if that's wrong of me for not being myself more. Dude, I'll go complete white mode. I'll put on my polos. I'll put on my Sperry's. I'll put on, whatever, my nice belt, my nice watch. Won't wear earrings. I won't. Dude, I won't put on earrings. Like, I'll try my best to appeal to who can help me. But that's not me though, bro. That's not me doing that. Just like it's not you either.
One thing that really bothers me in the African American community, those guys who are uppity, we often refer to them as, you're acting white. Wait. So because he speaks the language and because he knows how to properly greet somebody, we classify you as acting white? That really bothers me. Because why does that mean you're acting white? Why can't you just be acting black? So how is a black person supposed to act? And that really bothers me when people classify. You know what? I've done it in the past. And I own up to I've done it, but that's something I'll never do again, because basically when you say that, what are you saying about us black people? What are you saying that how are we supposed to act? We supposed to come in, what's good, fool? What's good, dog? What's good, bro? No. Just because we want to be uppity, how are you doing today?
It's proper.
That doesn't mean we're white.
So, see, that's what I'm thinking. Like, but did white people come up with being proper? Like, I'm confused.
What is proper being? What does that come from?
I don't know, because I feel like there is a level of respect you should have for someone, right? But like, how do we change that? I don't know. But one thing I will say that could help, I'm not sure, is this whole cultural appropriation when white people or a certain ethnicity starts, taken away from maybe your culture. And I see this and I hear about it, like white people with dreads or white people with braids or whatever, like that they're culturally taking something that maybe black people started. But I guess I'm white, so I think like, well, isn't that cool that like I like that culture. Like I feel like I fit in with certain cultures that my family doesn't fit in with.
Yeah.
I feel like Ridge Shipley, who I am, fits in with certain cultures compared to maybe others. But now sometimes I hear like that's a bad thing. Like, what would you say about a white dude wearing a do-rag? What would you feel about that?
If he's getting waves, I have no problem with it.
I mean, I throw on a do-rag and I'm over here, but is that like, does that make me racist? Because I think that's cool.
No, see, look, I think what will make it racist, I think what black people have the issue is when white people put the do-rag on and then, see, this
Nothing
that
bugs me. No, there's nothing that bugs me. White people, they'll put the do-rag on, and then they'll be, "What's good, bro? What's up,
And they
dude?"
add the extra.
And then we'd say, "Why are you trying to act black?"
Yeah. Ooh.
Bro, like why?
Yeah.
Like, come on now. Why do we associate that behavior with acting black?
Yeah.
Why are you just not acting yourself?
Like, I think about that Vicky chick that blew up. I'm like, damn, she's ghetto. But like, is she really ghetto? Like, or is that just me saying
But
that?
saying that she's ghetto and saying that she's acting black is two different things.
Yeah, okay.
And I feel like when you would start associating ghetto with black,
Yes.
then you become the problem.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just because she acts ghetto does not mean she acting black.
Yes.
She's just being ghetto. There's white ghettos, there's black ghettos,
Yes.
there's all types of ghettos.
But then other people just say that she's trying to be black.
Yeah,
So
and,
then,
and I don't get it. Like, why? We literally we want to stay away from stereotypes. We want to stay away from classifications. But yet we do it to ourselves sometimes.
that's
Oh,
tough.
we don't like her because she's acting black. She's trying to be fake, and that's
Yeah.
not who she really is. Bro,
It probably makes them uncomfortable, just like I get uncomfortable about things. Seeing a
Yeah.
white person act like that, like, it makes me feel a little uncomfortable.
But
So I couldn't imagine.
That's just themselves. They're not
Yeah.
acting black.
Yeah.
Because I don't do that. I'm not dapping you up like, what's good, fool? Like, I'm not on that, bro. I'm not doing that. But that doesn't make me white. That doesn't make me less black than a person that does that.
Yeah, you're right, dude. Like, and it's not even a funny matter. So I'm laughing. I'm laughing because it's like I feel you, like what you're
Yeah, no,
saying.
it's real.
But it's a real thing. It's not a laughing matter. It's just real because, dude, like I've got to figure out who I do a regular handshake with, or who I do
dab up to.
an actual handshake.
Well,
Like that's
now you got to fist bump everybody because Corona.
because of Corona. But that's true. We'll stick to fist bumping. But like, dude, like I'm talking about. You know how many awkward handshakes I've had with people where like I'm going in for one of these and then it turns into one of these, and then I go from a what's yes sir, like this, and then I'm like, yes sir, I've had a great day today. How are your wife and kids? And that's kind of where we leave it.
Yeah.
Whereas that's not love. Love for me is, we got to bring it in, man. Like we need some more, But I don't know, dude. Maybe I am different. I don't know.
But I mean, I feel like, as we're wrapping up, bro, I think one of the things that I've actually had a lot of my white friends reach out to me and ask me, how can they help? And my view on that is maybe a little different than others, because I feel like, first off, making it aware of what you stand for on social media, because I think that's the first step. That's not the only step. That's the first step. Because I think, what is social media for? What do you think social media is for?
It's a platform for whatever you want to do with it.
So that's what I'm saying. So if you take your social media and you tell everybody what you stand for, who you stand with, then that's a symbolism of what you believe. Because I guarantee you get baptized. I guarantee you have a kid. I guarantee you if Kobe Bryant scores 60 or something like that, you post on your social media.
Yeah.
So with this, I feel like that's first and foremost. Let people know where you stand. Because I had a homeboy ask me, would you rather me post like a long paragraph, or would you rather me post like donation sites?
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I'd rather you, as a black man, me personally, I'd rather you post a long paragraph than a donation site. Because anybody can just give their money.
Yeah.
But not everybody can change their heart.
Yeah.
So I think that I told him don't. I mean, you can post donation sites, but I wouldn't even worry about that, bro. Just let everybody know, because he was white, bro. He has a lot of white people following him. Let them know what you stand for and what you stand for, bro. But then the second step is not just posting about it, but living it out.
Yeah.
Actually live out love, bro. I've had like a tremendous amount of white people. Hey, man, I don't really know you like that, but I love you, and I hate that the world is the way it is, but I stand with you. Like that as a black man, bro, that touches me, bro.
Yeah.
Because it shows that there are people out there who love us.
Yeah.
There are white people out there that care. And that means more than anything to me right now, especially during these times.
That's something that I've really been struggling with the past week is what I should put on my platform. A part of me is like, I don't feel the need to come out and say all these things because, dude, this should be unspoken between us. You know me. Like, just like Eli on the phone earlier. Y'all know me, bro. Like, I feel like in my thing, if I go out there and post and I put this and that up, it could be me just thinking too much. But I think like, oh, now I'm doing this to show off that I have black friends or to show off that I'm not racist. Like, I don't want to show off that I'm not. I would just assume you know it. I would assume my other homeboy knows it. And, like, that's how I would live my life. But then, like you say, there's a lot of my followers that probably do need to know where I stand. And so that's something that I struggle with. And dude, I guarantee you there's a lot of white dudes out there, white girls too, that are kind of like, you know, what do I do right now? You know, because, dude, there's pressure. And like I brought up earlier, there's pressure for white people to say something. But I feel like 9 out of the 10 of them that are being so quick to talk right now really don't
get it.
Yeah, they don't get it. Now it's more like a, oh my gosh, people are going to think I'm racist. And so I got to put something up. Whereas, like, for me, I hated having this battle with myself. I was like, I don't want to feel pushed to say something. Like, I already know that I treat people with love. I felt this push, like, why are you guys pushing me? Like, I got love for you guys. You know what I'm saying? I got love for everybody. Why are you pushing me? You know, and so I had some problems dealing with that. And so I know other people have to.
No, for sure. I mean, one thing that we kind of talked about it earlier, but the white people who are coming out the woodwork saying stuff when you probably never ever heard them ever mention a black issue. Like, that's cool. I still want those people. Even if you've never ever cared, if you're just now being aware, becoming aware of what's going on, I still want you to speak up. But like I said earlier, that is not the only thing you need to do.
Yeah.
That's the smallest part. The bigger part of the problem, the bigger part of thinking what you need to do is live it out in your daily life. Love people. Help a black person. Help anybody, bro. Like, at this point, help anybody. I mean, yes, we're the ones being oppressed, but still, love everybody. Love people. Love people who love hearts, bro. Don't see color. And that's the thing that we need to know right now is that love kills all. Love conquers all. And if we can love one another despite color, despite religion, anything, like, we can overcome this. But you must live it out in your life and not just post on social media. Don't have Twitter fingers, bro. Real life, go out there and live it out and do it.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be hard, man, to find a balance. I really feel like it's going to be hard because there's just so many people that have been so affected by this and that have so much built up anger and emotion and that have been oppressed for so long. Dude, like, I don't blame them for not having any more love, you know, to give. You know, I don't blame them for being hurt so much that they can't accept another white person in their life. I don't blame them, but I feel like in our relationship, I don't know those people, but I know you. I feel like I could challenge you and say, man, I challenge you to have a little bit more love for white people in these next few months, you know? But I know you to say that. I'm not going to say it to people that I don't know because I don't know what they've been through, but I know you're capable of loving, bro, and like, as sucky as it is to sound for anyone that's been oppressed and anyone that's been hurt by all this, I don't know what you've been through. I'm white privileged, and the only reason why that I feel like I can acknowledge and know more is because I've been in sports culture and I've had to deal with my own type of stuff. And so I feel bad. Not everyone got the chance to play sports like I did. Not everyone got the chance to make connections and bond with opposite races like I have. And so I feel bad for those kids that don't know. And like, those are the ones I'm worried about, bro. It's like, I don't feel like they're racist at heart. They're just not educated. And if I can ask, you know, for every community just to try to have a little bit more love, it might be one more conversation with that person that gets them to go, light bulb moment. Let's not discourage people from having a light bulb moment, even though it's late. We get it. It's past the time that they should already know. It's overdue. Still allow them to have that light bulb moment. I mean, I know it's hard for me to ask, but
no, for sure. I mean, we're hurting. We're over it. Like, we're tired. And as a black community, we are hurting. But if a white person wants to know and wants to be educated, it's our job to educate them and teach them so that their eyes can be open.
Yeah.
And not only does it open their eyes, they can open the eyes of their friends, of their family members, everybody else, and it can impact so many different lives.
Yeah.
And that's the whole goal here. We want to change the whole culture. We want to open people's eyes and make them realize that black, white, it doesn't matter. We all need to be united, bro. At the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. Like I know George Floyd was killed. It's a terrible thing. We need to see that for what it was and realize that it was a racial issue and we need to put an end to it. That can't happen again. There's no more left in us as an African American community. That can't happen again. That's over. That's why we're doing everything we're doing. We're hurt. We're tired. We're fighting. And once everybody's able to open their eyes and see that, I think we can finally come to a change, bro.
Yeah. Dude, I think that Corona happening, this bad year that we think we're happening, I mean, come on, man. We know how our God works, bro. He works in ways we can't even understand. So we're only halfway through the year. I spoke to my mom a little bit about it. We want to have these family conversations, like no matter what the subject is.
You need to.
And my mom said, man, Rich, I feel like there's going to be change that is going to last forever because of this. And, you know, I started thinking, I was like, you know what? I'm going to have that attitude, because if I do have that attitude, maybe this will be the last time that we suffer from something so bad, like having another black person lose their lives at the hand of a cop. Hopefully now, this is just my mindset, is that because of Corona, we were all aware of it more than we have ever been. If it wasn't for Corona, wasn't for us being in quarantine, maybe we wouldn't have been able to focus as much on it. Now we got no excuses. We're on our phones way more now. We're inside. We see the news. We got no excuses. Let's make the change now and make it for the rest of our lives to be different.
For sure. Ask what you can do to change. Ask what I can do to change. Everybody ask themselves, what can they do to help cause change? We will live in a better world. As you can see, King's Court Podcast, King McClure here.
Rich Shipley.
Hey, love everybody. Have a blessed